Check, please.
Welcome back to Everything Money. NIO was the end-all, be-all, exploding brain, best thing ever, and alas, the stock has collapsed dramatically. We'll show you the numbers behind NIO, why we were avoiding it for the past year, and how it might be getting into a value investor's sweet spot if this price keeps tanking. They're making more cars, they have growth. We'll show you all this and more, and how to trade this company at a quicker pace with Mo at the end of the video. Stay tuned. Paul, give us your thoughts on this incredible Chinese EV company.
All right, so NIO, I love their cars. You look at their cars, they're absolutely stunning. They're expensive, but they're absolutely stunning. What are they? What's the average price? Are they expensive? Maybe they're not expensive. It's China. It can't be that expensive.
I think you're thinking of Lucid.
That's right. I'm thinking of Lucid. So guys, the funny thing about NIO is they're not even the number one electric vehicle manufacturer in China. Tesla has sold more. So according to these numbers, Tesla last year sold 473,000 vehicles coming from China or sold in China. Now, that's half of their vehicles they did overall. About 160,000 of the 473,000 were reported to markets exported to markets outside of China. So overall, 313,000 cars roughly were sold in China by Tesla.
That's right.
In China by Tesla.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, so
in comparison, NIO only sold 91,000 cars.
91,000 cars. But guess what? Their revenue growth. So let's go to our software right here. I'm just pull up NIO and just start looking at their revenue growth. We're going to go right to the income statement.
Give it to me now.
Give it to me now. $5.2 billion last year in revenue versus. Oh, actually, let's do this one. Let's do the annual because it's China. So guys, let's look at NIO's growth here. This is their quarterly numbers. September of 2021, they did 1.55 billion in sales that quarter. The previous year, same one, 716 million. That is double, guys. Oof. The previous year, same quarter, 290 million. That was triple. They are growing like crazy. What is their average price of their vehicle? Can somebody look that up for us while we do this video? So guys, NIO has a lot of potential. It's in China, the fastest growing middle class in the world. A recession to China is 5% GDP growth. There's 1.6 billion people there. At some point, electric vehicles are going to be the way, probably. And NIO, even though it's still got a lot of competition, is a very hype stock right now. Whenever there's a hype stock, what do?
Run away?
I get scared. Because to me, if everybody's bidding it up, it means they're probably not paying attention to the fundamentals.
Were you surprised in Switzerland how almost every vehicle, public transit and otherwise, was electric?
There were a lot of electric vehicles. I don't think it was every other, but there were a lot of electric vehicles.
The trams, the railways. It was incredible.
I know in Norway, if you have an electric vehicle to drive on their turnpike, which is paid highway, if you have an electric vehicle, it's free. If you don't, they charge you out the nose.
Really?
Yeah. That's what somebody told me.
I bring
really
that up.
Trying to encourage that.
I bring that up because Switzerland seemed like such an advanced society that I'm wondering.
Was just like Seth was making out with Switzerland. He was literally dry humping Switzerland the entire time we were there. Everything was U.S. sucks. I was like, can we stop shitting on the U.S. please? How many times did I say that to you?
You did. I remember. Yeah.
I was just like, Jesus Christ. He's like, Paul, can you believe it? The sidewalks have concrete. I'm like, we have that here in the United States, but this is better concrete. I was like, all right, sounds good.
So my point is, what would it take to have a lot more EV cars in China? Since, aren't they?
They're growing like crazy. China's got, I will repeat over and over, but at the end of the day, Tesla sold a ton more 4 times more cars to Chinese people than NIO did last year. What's NIO in terms of electric vehicle sales in China? What number?
65,000.
Well, he said 91,000. What's the ranking of a number of cars? Number 6, you said?
About the 6, yeah.
Okay, so...
Did you say the average price?
Oh, what did you say the average price was?
The average price is 65,000.
Oh, wow, that is expensive.
I thought that's what you were asking.
I'm sorry. Yeah. That's 65,000, the average price for...
average sales price, January through November was about 65,000, and that was as of December 22nd, 2021.
For NIO?
Yeah.
In China?
Yeah, because it turns out to...
So, guys, first off, they're not going to be able to become a 10 million car company selling $65,000 cars as their average price. It will have to decrease. You cannot sell a ton of, especially China, which is a poorer country. Now, granted, it is getting richer and richer and richer at a faster pace than we are. But even in this country, the average new car isn't $65,000. It's what, 42 or something like that?
I can look it up.
I mean, that's a very big hurdle. So even though the units will increase, the revenue per unit will probably decrease over time. And that's okay. That's quite okay.
47,000 here.
47 in the US. Now, granted, that probably includes the last year, which was through the nose insane.
Yeah.
82% of new cars in the US in January were sold above sticker price. So what can you do here, guys? You can click our add to watch list button if you like this company, done your research. Now you've added a notification to it. You can sit there and say, when it hits $5 and goes below there, notify me. And guess what you're going to get? You're going to get a notification through email and through your phone with the app. It'll tell you, hey, NIO just hit your price. Go buy it or go do whatever you're going to do. It's just going to notify you of that. And that's what's so great about the software. We created this because people kept asking for these kind of things. When we did the first videos of the channel, I had Y charts, which is a great service, but it's $200 to $500 a month. So the average person is going to use it. I was using my Excel models, etc. Finally, we kept getting so many requests for people doing their own research. We decided, you know what? Let's go spend the hundreds of thousands of dollars and make the software. So we did. So what do we have now? We have all of this. Somebody did a review of us recently, and it said our news alone is worth the money per month because our news is so great. But guys, you get everything. 8 pillars, retirement calculator, game changer right here for people. Stock analyzer tool. You can put all your stocks in portfolio and see how they look as a combined group. Exclusive video content. Every day we release videos in our community and on the phone app to only people who pay for our software. And the watch list, as you saw. But guys, there's more coming, and you're going to get all of those as well. The biggest thing here, though, is what I just said, the community. Over 6,000 people are in this chat, like-minded investors who all look at this and said, this made sense to me. Let me go talk to other people. It's hard to research. I know whenever I sit down and do research, I get bogged down going, God, this 10K. I like research, and it drives me nuts. Like, I got to read this 10K. But the great news is in this community, you can go in there and say, hey, guys, what's everybody's theory on NIO? You can get a conversation going. With that conversation, everybody's probably looked at some aspect, and you can go dig through it a little bit quicker. And you can have that community effort of looking at investments. And this is all available for $1 per day. If you can increase your returns by 1 or 2% a year, or avoid the NIOs from 60 to 18 a couple times a year, this will pay for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of your retirement. And there are 2 ways to sign up, everythingmoney.com or Patreon for our international users. The benefit of everythingmoney.com is you get it without sales tax because we're not big enough to charge sales tax yet, so you can save it for a while. This is awesome. $1 a day, less than a cup of coffee. This is a no-brainer, changes your financial future. I like NIO. The great thing about our software, we can sit here and put our assumptions about the future and see what NIO is worth. Now let's look at the chart of NIO real quick. The hypesters,
they build whole channels off this company.
Right here.
Yep.
This is when we were hearing it like out the yin yang. NIO's the future. NIO's the future. What's that price say? For those of you who can't see, it says $61. That was exactly 13 months ago. It's at 18 today. 70% drop.
Oh my God.
Verify me on the math. It's a 70% drop, guys. Very simple. And we were just like, listen, I don't see it. I don't see how back then it was almost $100 billion, $90 billion company. And I'm looking at going, I don't get it. Do I even get $28 billion? I don't think so. They did $1.5 billion in the last 12 months in revenue. For a car company, it tends to be 0.5 times revenue, and they're selling for 5.44. It's 10 times more.
You need a better deal than this.
Now, they are growing like crazy, Seth, so I do believe in paying a premium. But what I find is with hype companies, people don't realize they're paying whatever premium is needed because they just see the stock price go up and up and up and up. Well, now what do you see? Stock price go down, 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 down. And this is what the company's sale. By the way, at this point, if we look at the data from last year, if I was looking at them, their revenue was $1.97 billion. Now today, the stock is down 70% and their sales went to $5.2 billion. So for those of you who sit there and say, well, if I told you a year ago that their revenue is going to go to $5.2 billion next year, would you have thought their stock was going to fall 70%? Anyone?
No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Are they profitable? They lost $500 million in that $5 billion. Let's see what they're doing quarterly. Are they making money on a quarterly basis? They are not. So our stock analyzer tool, we have to do some modifications here, but the stock analyzer tool is so wonderful because it allows you to make your assumptions about the future and tell you what price you should pay.
I've been on this show a long time. I'm still lost on this one, Paul. I mean, the numbers are all over the place. You're right. If you would, they sold 50% more cars year over year. I mean, but what do I pay? What do I pay? It's just like a shot in the dark here.
That to me, like I think that's the right thing that you're doing. That's too hard. Pile, move on.
I had somebody reach out to me recently on Instagram and said, Paul, love your show, but I just don't get Mo's day trading. I'm sorry, I just don't get it. It just seems so stupid to me. And I'm like, great. He goes, do I sound ignorant? I'm like, no, you just don't get it, so don't do it.
Yeah.
He was like, oh.
I'm offended.
He literally said, he's like, oh, well, thanks for the support. I'm like, yeah, nobody's going to get upset. If you don't get it, don't do it.
You don't do it.
That's very simple.
Cool.
But we're taught you have to be doing something at all times.
Yeah.
Guys, just lay there. I used to be the guy who was fidgeting all day. I still do fidget, but guess what? I can just sit there and do nothing all day.
All right, let's get on the stock analyzer here.
Somebody sent me something last night. 1 second. They said if most traders would learn to sit on their hands 50% of the time, they would make a lot more money.
Of course.
True.
It's probably talking about me.
It's probably even higher than 50%. It's just, guys, you don't need to be doing something at all times.
Well, I get antsy, Paul.
I know,
and
that's the
I
problem.
see all the videos about how NIO's the best thing ever.
Investing is all about controlling the emotion. That's it.
Show me the numbers.
So, guys, I'm putting in some assumptions here. I'm doing revenue growth of 10, 15, and 20%. Now, let's see what that actually means. 10% revenue growth for the next 10 years would take their $5 billion to $13 billion. Okay, that seems pretty low. 20% revenue growth in the next 10 years would take them to $31 billion. Okay, if they end up becoming one of the biggest producers of automobiles in China, that's not bad. Probably could be better, but I like being conservative and seeing where things fall. I'm doing profit margin pretty low. Why? Because they're probably going to have losses for a while. So I have to start with a lower profit margin, assuming the first few years are still losses. The next 5 or 7 years are great. I go for my desired return, guys, 12.5% after putting in my multiples. I hit the analyze button. Yeah, guys, I'm at a low of $1.33 and a high of $10 with an average price of $4, middle price of $4. Does that seem right? You know what? I kind of got to say it does. Why? Because the company is selling for 10 times the average car company multiple. But it has a lot of growth potential. So yeah, it makes sense. They have to fall another 70% from here to then go. And that's the way, guys, remember this thing. Even if you buy it today after it's fallen 70%, if it goes to $5, the people who bought it at 60 have lost 92%, but you've still lost 70. You're not that far behind. Mm-hmm. It's a difference still, but that's why you have to exercise patience. And
it does sound like a lot, but I mean, think about if this company didn't go to $68 a share like it should not have. Imagine, I mean, that dollar number would sound pretty reasonable if, say, it only went to like $5, $6.
Yeah,
You know?
But we also look at it as
crazy.
It was at $60.
Yeah.
YouTube experts were saying this thing is just going to go way up, either $100, $200 by the end of the last year. And wow, 18 whole dollars. It's incredible. One of the most popular chats in the Everything Money community is the day trading chat, where Paul and I and Mo go on a daily basis and talk about trading. Mo, what's going on over there with the long-term and short-term trades? Give it to me.
So let's do long-term first, because this is actually something that I'm interested in shorting, because there is not a lot of support in here. There's a couple of points where you'll find a little bit of support, but for the most part, with this trend, you have your stochastic here. You have a lower high and a lower high, and it just cannot break into the sweet spot at all. This thing is just going to keep coasting on the bottom and falling in price. I'm just going to wait for engulfing candlesticks and keep shorting, taking profits going into these support levels. And then I think this is a great way to make money. Now, the day trading place is the place to make real money consistently day to day with NIO, because it fluctuates so much. There's days when EVs just go nuts. Let's see. Could you have done anything today? Yeah. You guys left at the wrong time. About 11:30, everything started to go.
Well, I was getting hungry.
Everything started to go. You popped over 80% in the afternoon. You had a really nice engulfing candlestick. Didn't go for a crazy run, but look at that. It turned right back down, and there could be a shorting opportunity this afternoon. Yesterday, you had an opportunity to go short on this sometime in the morning. So NIO is a great stock to throw onto a day trading watch list, but also pay attention for this one going short, because it has a lot of potential to fall down.
My recap is, be cautious. Let NIO get into its value, grow into its value. I'd rather you miss out. You're never going to buy the low, and you're never going to sell the high. So let them justify their value and then start buying them. But in the meantime, I don't think 18 is justifiable. We don't even know the future. We don't even know what they're going to look like when they are profitable. They're not even profitable yet. To me, it's a too hard pile, and I'm moving on from it.
Subscribe, final thumbs up, join the community. You will love it. We'll see you next video.